Am I confident that global growth will be restored in 2009? No. Why? Because the ball is already rolling. The cause of the global economic crisis is the price of gas that happened in the year 2008. It doubled. And so this is having an effect throughout the entire, at least North American economy. What happened when the price of gas doubled? Well, everything that people buy costs too much to ship. And so people stopped buying, especially on the internet where shipping is a large part of the cost. And when people stopped buying, then shipping companies lost business. They were among the first to lay off thousands, hundreds of thousands of people in North America. And so now those hundreds of thousands of people are looking for work and living off of taxpayers' social benefits. Then what happened? People stopped buying cars. Why? Because it cost too much to run them. They stopped driving them. They stopped buying gas. And gas stations stopped making money because they couldn't have customers to buy their gas. And so now car manufacturers are in trouble and looking for bailouts. Also, we all know that the banks loan money to people to buy huge houses which they can no longer pay for, and they foreclosed on them. So those houses are worth nothing now. People cannot afford to buy them. The banks are causing their own demise. It's reached the point where the state of Ohio, a whole state, cannot get enough tax revenue to run themselves, and they're looking for a bailout. But the worst is yet to come. Why? Because in the year 2008, the farmers had to pay double for their gas, and they are the ones who harvested the food. We hope they did. We hope they could afford to pay for the enormous amount of cost that it took to harvest that grain, the bread basket of the world. And so the ball really is rolling. If these farmers don't get at least double for the price of their grain that they harvested this year, then they're not going to be able to pay their bills. They probably had to borrow enormous sums of money to harvest their crops this year. In order for American farmers to get the return on the investments they've made in gas to harvest the wheat, then they need to find someone who can afford to pay the price that it costs them to harvest it. If they cannot get the money they need to sell their grain, then hundreds of thousands, millions of farmers in North America will go bankrupt. And so the ball is still rolling, and the future ahead looks very bleak. Americans will not be able to afford to buy their own food. And so if you think the bank bailouts, the mortgage company bailouts, the investment company bailouts, the shipping companies laying thousands of people off, the car manufacturer bailouts are an awful economic problem, just wait and see when the farmers need a bailout. America cannot afford it. The worst is yet to come. So Davos, you need to decide what the world needs to do when 1 billion North Americans can't even afford to buy their own food. That's what's going to happen in 2009. When the people of North America see all their food going offshore, then they're going to be upset. And I'm certain in 2009 we'll see an enormous amount of civil strife. And I'm certain the governments of North America are well aware that this will happen. And so they're preparing to turn their focus inward and police these people. Yeah, you'll see riots in the street and people being clubbed to death by military and the police that the governments of North America have in place to look after these things. So 2009 will not be a pleasant year. However, Davos, if you're unable to resolve this problem, and if you're troubled and anguished, bewildered, perplexed, and you don't have an answer, that could be a good thing. And I'll explain why. Why? Because it will fulfill a Bible prophecy that shows that a future time will happen where people in the world, the nations, the governments, the intelligent people living on this planet won't know what to do. And I'll read that scripture for you. Yeah, it's from the Bible. It's in Luke chapter 21 and verse 25. I'll read it from the Amplified Bible, a very good translation. This is what it says. And upon the earth there will be distress, trouble, and anguish of nations in bewilderment and perplexity, without resources, left wanting, embarrassed, in doubt, not knowing which way to turn, at the roaring, the echo of the tossing of the sea. What is the tossing of the sea? The sea is the humans living on the world today, the population, the sea of people. And so, why is this a good thing? Well, the thing that happens immediately after the world is bewildered and troubled and perplexed and embarrassed because they really don't know what to do. What happens after that? Immediately before the scripture, it shows that Jesus Christ will come. Jesus Christ will come at a time when the world, the rest of the world, the governments and nations do not know what to do. And so I'm looking forward to it.